Hello everyone, welcome to Straight to VOD. This is the #1 place that you can get movie reviews for movies that nobody else is talking about. And today, maybe this is a movie that nobody really shouldn't be talking about. We're going to take a look at the Awkwafina John Cena movie, Jackpot. Jackpot was directed by Paul Feig, who directed some of the best comedy movies of my time with Bridesmaids, Spy, and The Heat. In the near future, a grand lottery has newly been established in California. What's the catch? Kill the winner before sundown to legally claim their multi-billion-dollar jackpot. So this isn't the first time that we've seen a movie deal with this type of subject. There have been so many movies that have been made over the years that have had this premise before, with a lottery winner going through some kind of hijinks in order to survive until they can get the jackpot. But this one is different. It feels like it's a mixture between the Purge films and the late great classic film Lottery Ticket with Bow Wow.
Wait. We love you, Kevin. I want to have your baby.
I'm trying to get you pregnant for the longest. Now you want to. I know your mama.
What a classic. But we can't talk about this film or any other film that Awkwafina is starring in without talking about Awkwafina herself, because for some reason there's always a controversy with every film that she is in. And for me personally, I don't really get it. I've always been the thought of, if you don't like an actress or don't like an actor or don't like the style of comedy that they do, don't watch the film. I mean, that's the reason why I haven't watched an Adam Sandler movie in the last 10 years. But I do find it kind of interesting that people go up in arms when Awkwafina is cast in a film because they say she's too annoying and she can't act. And I can clearly tell that those people that are upset of Awkwafina being in all these films have definitely did not grow up in the early 2000s, because we had a person just like Awkwafina named Rob Schneider. Made a whole bunch of films that nobody really liked and thought he was a terrible actor and he wasn't funny.
Yeah, this baby's nailed down tight. Not going anywhere.
But in all seriousness, like I said before, if you don't like Awkwafina, probably don't watch this film and your life will probably be better for it. Don't think you need to go online and do rage hate and waste your time to worry about Awkwafina being starred in another film. Because let's be honest, there's better things that you could be doing with your life, and there's more important things that you need to be worrying about, especially nowadays. Because I mean, the last time I checked, a large fry is like $5 now. Where has the world gone? We should be worried about that. But as far as the film Jackpot itself goes, I think that it's alright. I feel like the first act of the film is where I get the most enjoyment out of it. Then the second and third act come along, and I feel like it comes to a screeching halt in terms of the plot and the comedy and everything else that's good about it. But like I said, that first act does a really good job of setting up the film and setting the stakes and just throwing us into the action and into the comedy. I think the biggest issue with Jackpot is that, much like most modern comedy films nowadays, the jokes don't feel that funny. And that's just my personal preference. Of course, movies and comedy, just like any other medium, is pretty much subjective. So not everybody is going to like it, not everybody is going to hate it. For me, in my personal preference, don't think the jokes in this film really land. I'm not really a big fan of just having, former wrestlers say a long line full of offensive words and then that is comedy. I don't really think that that's funny to me. Sometimes it's funny, but for the most part, especially when you keep on doing it over and over and over again, just like this film does, it kind of gets tired fast. It just kind of feels like nowadays with these comedies, they have a whole bunch of writers in a room together and they say, hey, if we have a person just say a whole bunch of weird things in a row, it's gonna be funny, right? And it's no detriment to Awkwafina and John Cena, because I actually do think they have really good chemistry in this film. I actually think that Awkwafina does a good job with anybody else that she is acting with. She always finds a way to make it feel believable. Kind of reminds me of the movie Renfield that came out, the Universal like retake of Dracula and Renfield. That movie was all right, but I think Awkwafina and the other person, like Holtz or whatever his name is, the guy from Jack and the Beanstalk, I think they had really good chemistry and it was very believable. I think she's good at that, at just making her co-stars feel very comfortable. But that's like one of the better highlights of the film. But like I said, the jokes aren't really good. They don't really land that well. And another issue with this film is that they focus so much on trying to go in depth with the character's backstory that it causes the film to come to a screeching halt. I mean, the action stops. There's literally a scene, two scenes I can think of in this film where the characters are literally sitting down and just, you know, everybody else is going crazy outside, but the two characters are just sitting having a heart-to-heart and just pretty much saying their backstory and why they are doing the things that they are doing. And after having two scenes with them doing this in the film, I kind of just came away with not caring about these characters. I don't really care about their backstory. And honestly, it just made the movie feel longer than it needed to be. And this movie isn't that long. It's only an hour and 7 minutes. But with those scenes of them trying to go in depth and trying to make you care about these characters, just makes this movie feel long. And you don't want that in your action comedy film. I don't need a lot of storytelling, and particularly with the character's backstory in these type of films. I think of films like the Hangover series where they didn't go in depth with the character's backstory, but they just had these character traits that we knew and they developed them throughout the film. We know that one of the characters is the smart, savvy business guy, one is now a family guy, and the other one is just a weirdo. And throughout those films, they have these characters with those character traits go into different types of situations, and we see how it plays out for each of those characters. And it kind of builds up their character, and we get to know how those characters act, what their characters will do. And I kind of like the way that they do that in comedy movies where we don't need, you know, it's a sit down scene and, you know, get all serious and talk about our feelings and everything. You know, you can still do the comedy while building out these characters, fleshing out these characters. But overall, guys, I think that Jackpot is an alright film. It's not the worst thing that I've seen all year. That was the movie that I reviewed last week. If you want to torture yourself, go over here. I think that Awkwafina and John Cena have great chemistry. The first act of the film is a lot of fun, and I actually laughed a couple times through that. It kind of feels like a throwback comedy to the early 2000s, and the jokes just feel unnatural, and that's probably the biggest cardinal sin that you could do in a comedy film where the jokes are just not funny. And again, like I said, you know, comedy, movies, music, lots of things are subjective. For me, I didn't find most of it funny, and I thought it just dragged on a little bit too much. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you like this movie? Did you hate this movie? What do you think about Awkwafina? I know that question is going to bite me in the butt. What do you think about Awkwafina in the comments down below? Do you totally hate her? Do you think that she's all right, or do you not care? Feel like I'm in that camp. I don't really care. She's in the movie. Whoop-de-doo. And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you've been giving this little small channel that I'm building. The likes and the views I've been getting, you know, not a lot, you know, but I've been surprised. I just started this channel a couple of weeks ago, and it's already, you know, we're getting some traction. We're getting some views. You guys seem to like the way that I've been doing this stuff. Thank you so much. And of course, remember, keep watching movies.